Hi everyone, Nate, Miss Charlotte and a few puppies here. This is for the NARGA community, the National Animal for Rescue Groups of Australia. I dropped out for about 6 months there due to life, and now you get to hear the YouTube release of some of the information that I've become aware of. But we're looking at moving forward. Hello Miss Charlotte. Who's this? Good gal. So basically we're looking at moving forward, and specifically for this one, it's not so much of an introduction for me or where we're going with NARGA. Hello Miss Jeff. It's basically what we're looking at with the current situation for the disasters. Now there was the original creation of the disaster response team and associated Facebook and some amazing things. Thank you for everyone who gave a like and offered help and helped, and some amazing people, and Mel did an amazing job. Thank you very much. What we're looking at is now the creation of a plan. I'm throwing the idea out there and discussing with lots of people across the country, called ADAPT. Now that stands for the Australian Animals Disaster Action Plan, and then there's a T. Now the T's offset and it's got 4 parts, and that'll be explained in the next week or two. Basically that T stands for Australian Animal Disaster Plan today. So what to do with animals then the next section of it is tomorrow. So what to do when there's a disaster now and looking forward for the future, of imminent future within 1 to 2 days. Then the next one is part 3, in which it's take preventative action. So we're looking at setting up systems where we've currently got showgrounds allocated after the Victorian disasters for people to be able to go and good shake off. Boop, boop. Good boy. It's okay. He was just a little concerned and doing stuff, then he gave a shake off. So he's happy. That's a greeting when they stretch. That means hello. So basically there's showgrounds that are now allocated when a disaster site is, that enables people to go there if they've got nowhere else to go, and emergencies, which is an amazing resolution. And I've read and looked through the Victorian Disaster Animal Plan and other plans across the country and had them sent. We've just had the NARGA President, Jan, thank you so much. I'm working and looking at collaboration, communication and cooperation with the New Zealand disaster response team, specifically associated with animals, and an amazing thing for Jan to do. And for them to have already set up. So we're going to use their information. This is not my idea, this is the idea that people have had and we need. The DPI and the RSPCA have got a massive responsibility, and they're doing an awesome job after the event and things like that, and that's great, and we'd love to keep those same systems in place. The RSPCA take the sick and injured animals, the DPI allocate the funding to be able to be released for animals care, transport and everything else where at needed as requested. That's the amazing people in that aspect. So basically what we're looking at now is for the future. So we've got take preventative action. So if we can include animals to be allowed in temporary housing and showgrounds during the disaster zones across the country, not just in the one local area. If we look at every showground in the country now being allocated as a disaster zone, and having animals, if they've got temporary housing in that area, and I'll talk about that next week or two, as I said. But just for now, the plan. That's going to give people an option, and we can use transport systems like the rail, and we've got it all written up with some amazing people's assistance, and thank you so much for living in the moment. So basically, we've then got the last T in the ADAPT plan, which is talk about the action taken. So this occurs after the event, so then it flows back in from the top and all the other systematic things that need to be done. We're going to be looking at working with the SES, the fire department, police, ambulance, people in the community, and developing myself. I'm going to, from the experience I've had and working in different areas and personally being a part of disaster response teams and emergency rescue teams in mining for many years, and a country boy and America and a lot of other things, that people I've now met, I'm asking their information. So basically, I'm not a specialist in any area. I'm a specialist in collaborating ideas, forming a method and a process that we can have a resolution and an answer. The Australian Animal First Ever Behavioural Assessment I brought in to rehabilitate animals. The first ever Companion Animal Council to utilise the Companion Animals Act, brought in 1978 and enacted in '79, in 2004 being Newcastle Council. Awesome people there and some proactive stuff happening. I was working at the RSPCA from 2003 to 2005. Coincidence, maybe? So we're looking at, with this ADAPT plan, setting up people all across the country, taking responsibility for your own town. We don't need to have just one point of call, one person responsible for everything. That's the last thing in the world, and I'm not going to be running nearly 99% of this, by the way. I'm going to be teaching and educating people on how to understand animals in high stress situations, emergencies, disasters, and handle them or remove them or set themselves up with methods and actions to happen before, during and after that makes a safe environment for all. And it's not just for disasters and everything else, it's everyday life. And this will be a course with a free DVD for everyone and anyone who lives with animals, if you want it. So that'll be generally the process we're looking at developing. Now what I'd like for the disasters now, where I live there's fires all over, everywhere. We've got emergency. Have a look on the net's easier for that. There's fires again in the Blue Mountains that's destroyed 200 homes, and pretty much some of the it's unbelievable. I've been and spoken today with some of the fire services and some of the emergency services and people at Ground Zero, and I'll take some more video for the next one once it's not quite still happening. So video and things like that are not important for now. We need to set up stuff to help people. So previously the disaster response team page was set up in conjunction with several people, and we looked at putting the ideas out there and letting people help across the community. If they've got something at your house, send it to someone in your local area in a rescue group and we'll get it done from there. It's free to join NARGA for any rescue group. So basically, I'd like now to change that idea, and I've spoken with a lot of the people in NARGA and things, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, I'll take responsibility for that 100%. I'd like everyone in their local area in a rescue group. If you want to help, if you don't, that's fine. If you've got criticisms, that's awesome, but we want results as well. So don't just say that's terrible, it's not working, tell us how to fix it, right? So if we've got people in their local area, post on the disaster response page every conversation we have. There's no need to be secret, there's no exec in a disaster for now. There's nothing set up across the country. Whatever's meant to happen and whatever's previously happened is broken, okay? When people are here, I hear it all day, every day when I'm here and living with 5 different emergency evacuated sites within half an hour of my house. So if everyone can post your ideas, your thoughts and everything on that disaster response team page set up, and it was amazingly run before, with complications and breakdowns because of privacy and who knew what information or where it was going and what was actually being said wasn't public. So we need to make everything full disclosure. That's why NARGA was set up, to take out any if, maybe, buts or concerns. So if we can post your ideas, I'm going to allocate some people in the Newcastle area and do some radio. You can call the radio, tell them, does anyone in your local area have a spare dog lead? Does anyone have a spare cat cage? We'll give it back. If they don't want it back, that's great. You can get them for $2 at your local whatever store. Send it somewhere, in the mail, on your own, to your local rescue group if you live in the middle of nowhere. If you live in the city or somewhere where the disaster happening, just deal with the disaster. Don't worry about anything else. We should be helping you. The first questions when you ask from NARGA, by the way, are how can we help you? What would you like? And how would you like us to do that? That's it. Not we're here to do this, we are that. You can tell them we're from NARGA, that's great. But all you say is, what do you need? How can we help you? Etc, etc. If you ever find yourself saying, this is what we're doing, I've done this, I've done that, stop, think what we're doing. We'll say thank you later when all of them are finished. It hasn't stopped. So let's move forward on everything that's happened and learn from, not mistakes, learn from mistakes. Mine, I'll take if there was any. But learn from what occurred. If we can all post whatever ideas, whatever people in your community, whatever local newspapers you write to and say, does anyone have two tins of dog food? Do we have spare hay if you live on a property, or you know your uncle or your father, or you work in an industry that has transport? Leave that on the website, right? And if 1 or 2 people in each local area listening to this can allocate 1 or 2 other people to help them and just be in charge of putting those in order, we're all together. Together we'll make a difference. I truly believe that. So this is Nate's opinion. Miss Charlotte, his foster cat, now living with a mate of mine as a permanent cat. Very cleansing, as I slobber on myself. So take care from Nate. Montana's at home because there's fires and I don't want to put him at risk and do that. We're going to be trying to make a difference across the country. If you're in Adelaide or with some amazing people there, or Perth or whatever, it's a long way and it might seem like you can't do anything. I'm not asking for money. If you want to give money, give it to, I think the Salvation Army in the Hunter Valley is running it and now asking for donations in money. They've got the other services for food and things. Animals have got nothing at the moment. The things and services that are being done are great, but we need to improve. It's been going on for too many years and I've just learned a lot in the last little while. So ignore any of my other stuff just for now. If you want to help, right, please post your ideas, your thoughts on the open website page. If it gets too much, someone else who's good at websites and internet and these, and a lot better than me, please sort that out. There's no exec, we don't get paid. We're all here, let's do it. Together we'll make a difference. Take care.